सभी को नमस्कार। म्यूजियम हेरिटेज इन इंडिया इस कोर्स का आज का ये हमारा दूसरा दिन है और इस दूसरे सत्र में मैं आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। यहाँ पर हमारे आज की जो मुख्य व्याख्याता है डॉक्टर सुरुचिका चावला जी, वो भी यहाँ पर उपस्थित है। मैं उनका भी यहाँ पर स्वागत करता हूँ।
नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते नमस्ते। मैं थोड़ा सा पहले मैडम के बारे में परिचय देना चाहूंगा। हमारे सारे जितने भी यहाँ पर प्रतिभागी है तो उन सभी को उनका परिचय मैं देना चाहूंगा। मैडम ने अपना मास्टर जो है वो कंजर्वेशन, प्रिजर्वेशन एंड हेरिटेज मैनेजमेंट ये कंप्लीट किया है फ्रॉम दिल्ली इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हेरिटेज रिसर्च एंड मैनेजमेंट से। उसके बाद उन्होंने अपना पीएचडी जो है वो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजी एंड एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री महाराजा सयाजीराव यूनिवर्सिटी बड़ौदा से कंप्लीट किया। फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने उनको जो अवार्ड्स एंड फेलोशिप अभी तक जो प्राप्त हुए हैं, ब्रिटिश म्यूजियम फेलोशिप लंदन का जो उनको प्राप्त हुआ था 2018 में। उसके बाद उसके पहले यूजीसी जूनियर रिसर्च फेलोशिप 2009 में उन्हें प्राप्त हुआ था। उन्होंने केवल अपना मास्टर या पीएचडी कंप्लीट किया ऐसा नहीं, बल्कि एक बड़ी विशेष बात यह है कि अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स का नॉलेज अच्छी तरह से मिले, इसके लिए उन्होंने आर्ट फॉर ड्राइंग टीचर्स तथा कमर्शियल आर्ट का भी डिप्लोमा कोर्स उन्होंने कंप्लीट किया। उसके बाद उन्होंने जो वर्क किया है, शी वाज टीचिंग असिस्टेंट क्यूरेटर इन एमएसयू बड़ौदा 2014-15 में उन्होंने कार्य किया। उसके बाद एज अ यंग म्यूजियम प्रोफेशनल वर्क उन्होंने किया था नेशनल म्यूजियम दिल्ली में 2015 से 2018 के बीच में। और एक बड़ी विशेष उपलब्धि ये रही कि इस समय उन्होंने 13 ऑनलाइन एग्जीबिशंस डिजाइन किए। मुझे पता है क्योंकि मैं एक म्यूजियम प्रोफेशनल में रहा हूँ। एक ऑनलाइन म्यूजियम का आज की तारीख में पूरे भारत में अगर देखा जाए, ओनली 0.5% म्यूजियम्स हैव देयर दिस ऑनलाइन एग्जीबिशंस। तो ये बड़ी एक विशेष बात है और जो हमें करनी चाहिए, नई दुनिया की नई परिभाषा को हमें समझना चाहिए। तो ये वर्क उन्होंने किया है। She is also participated in excavations in Gujarat, Haryana, and other states. She had presented many research papers in national and international research journals and as a resource person also. Now she is working as a supervisor of projects at Archaeology and Museum Department, Haryana, Chandigarh. So I most welcome to Madam and sincerely request, please continue our today's session.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Yes, now we can see it. Yes.
ठीक है सर। मैं फुल स्क्रीन कर रही हूँ ताकि थोड़ा और अच्छे से दिख जाए।
जी
हाँ जी। अब सर आपको फुल स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है मेरी?
Yes, yes, yeah, it's too nice.
Good morning to all. Yesterday I was not able to attend. Yes, like सर ने इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी दोनों लिखा है, तो मैं इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी दोनों में ही अपना लेक्चर लूंगी। लेकिन ये है कि मोस्ट ऑफ मेरी स्लाइड्स आर इन इंग्लिश, तो इंग्लिश में बताने के बाद अगर किसी को डाउट है, कुछ पूछना है, तो आई एम ऑल्सो कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी। द सेकेंड थिंग इज कि like I was seeing the schedule of all the lectures, so there are many museums which state wise people will be covering. So I would suggest if I miss your museum, so you don't have to ask again कि आपने वो म्यूजियम क्यों नहीं दिखाया, क्योंकि ये म्यूजियम्स मेरे पर्सपेक्टिव से इसलिए इम्पोर्टेंट है क्योंकि इन म्यूजियम्स ने ऑडियंस को और लोगों को ऐसी सब फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड करी जो एक म्यूजियम को प्रोवाइड करनी चाहिए। इसलिए तो आई thought of showing these important museums which I feel are a museum in complete sense. Good morning. When I start my presentation, the first slide which you see right now is actually on the left side you can see 4 images which are actually the images of the renovated Harappa gallery. I don't know how many of you have visited Harappa Museum, Harappa Gallery in the National Museum, New Delhi. But when I was working there in 2015, we got a proposal passed through the director that we should do some refurbishment of the gallery. So during that project, there was a 3-member team and we refurbished the gallery, and it was done after almost 30 years, means 3 decades. So we added 2 showcases. These are the 2 showcases. One is of these anthropomorphic forms and all, the copper hoard section, and this one which has the stone tool section. This stone tool gallery was closed in National Museum, so we picked up some stone tools which were significant markers, and then we created a showcase. This showcase you will find at the entry of the National Museum Harappa Gallery, and this you will find at the last. We also added some kind of new labels. We changed the labels because the labels were outdated. I worked through the excavation reports and we changed them. So Harappa Gallery, because it is the largest gallery which has all the, you may say, the original collection of Harappa, which is nowhere else in India. Then on the right side, you see a museum, which is an anthropological. On the right side, you will see a museum. Is somebody saying something in between? On the right side, we see a museum in which I started my journey as a museum professional. This is the museum of university at MS University Baroda in the Department of Archaeology. Now, if we see the introduction, the heritage, why museums came into being and all. Yesterday, I saw Ambika ma'am's lecture, so I know the brief has been given by her already. I just wanted to give you an outlay of what kind of museums or which museums came into the picture one by one. So the heritage, the development of museums in India almost dates back to 1784 during the inception of Asiatic Society of Bengal. So the first museum, the Kolkata Indian Museum Kolkata, which most of us know, was established in 1814, which was the first museum of India dealing with the archaeology, ethnology, and technology. They also have botany and other sections which are very much popular, natural history section also. In the present scenario, there are almost more than 800, means 833 though I have read in a report in 2017. So after that, they must have been enhanced. I read in a report by INTAC and the Development Authority of India. So there are 800 museums, more than 800 museums, and they are of almost 54 categories. Categories, you may say, they are of different themes, they are of different administration setups and all. Museums can be rightly said as adjuncts to the formal educational institutions, as the exhibits or the objects which are used as the resources. They actually attach a value to the tangible traces which are left by the ancestors. Like yesterday, Ambika ma'am was telling that we used to hoard things, to collect things for the future. So it's actually the traces, tangible traces, which were left by our ancestors, and we created museums. We safeguarded them, prevented them, and then we created museums to display and showcase it to the coming generation. How the museums, after the first museum, how it grew in India for specific. After independence, there was a very spurt in growth of site museums because India was trying to create a cultural and everything. They were creating a foundation for that. So there were many museums which were coming from Archaeological Survey of India also, which was the first body which was creating museums near the archaeological sites, because India is very rich in archaeological heritage. So at present, there are 50 museums, 50 site museums, and earlier there were 44. They were going through 15-point museums. You may say they have different code of conducts which they follow in all their museums. The collections housed in the museums presently in India is actually at the national level, state departments, universities, museums of the Archaeological Survey of India, and other committees or private collections. If you will see, you cannot anytime replace the monuments and sites, but yes, they are substitute for our museums. You need to understand the heritage. So museum act as the storytelling session, a kind of a storyline which tells everything about the monument or everything about the site, which a person should know, or at least should have knowledge of what that monument or site is making meaning of. Now, because museum is a part of heritage, sometimes people get confused what kind of heritage. It's actually the part of cultural heritage. It is tangible heritage. and the museum itself is immovable structure, because there are many museums in India which are actually heritage buildings, or some kind of which buildings which were created by some maharajas or the noble people, but the collections which are housed in the museums are movable. But sometimes we also use intangible heritage like the dance music, we show some kind of songs, we do some kind of demonstrations or some kind of puppet shows, whatever you may say. We juxtapose the intangible and the tangible cultural heritage in a place which is actually a cultural space for all of us. Presently, museum act as the connecting nexus to the heritage, science, technology, because we are also in the era when everything is getting online and the things are getting so fast that people are not getting time to visit a gallery or going to a place physically. So they try to virtually get the experience of all the things which they can maximum get knowledge of. There is a very renowned scholar, Shobhita Punj. I met her also in my journey of museums. She has written the earliest books on museums, where she has described about big museums, art museums of India. So she opines that the earlier Indian museums are more than 100 years old, and they have separate sections on art, archaeology, and they have galleries for geology, museology, anthropology, etc. As everyone I have told you, the first museum was Indian Museum in Calcutta, which was established in around 1875. When it was getting established, parallel to that, other places, there were museums which are coming up, which were basically based on the medical, university, industrial. They were wide range of interests and the need of time. So people were bringing more institutions which were acting as museums and spreading information. She also emphasizes, and that we also can say, that the museums in India were of British origins, because earlier we didn't had the concept. Yes, we had the concept of putting images in a gallery or chitrashala, but the concept of a museum, proper display, putting a label and all, it's a kind of a British origin. Then the earliest reports created by Markham and Hargreaves. This is the earliest report created by Markham and Hargreaves on the museums of India. They also describe the different museums and different administration setup and the sites, because they were much more interested on the curios, which yesterday Ambika ma'am was also telling, the curios of the things which they were getting from different sites. So they were collecting them. So earliest museums were somewhat more majorly emphasized on the archaeological collections. Here is just a small list which shows that I cannot cover all the 800 museums, but I may say that the list of archaeological site museums which you see on the right are the 50 museums which exist in the jurisdiction of Archaeological Survey of India. Then on the left, you can see the museums which I thought are selected, which are good to see, or you should go and visit them, because they have something or else unique in them. Although there are more museums, because every museum has you may say a highlight or a key factor which attracts the audiences. But these museums which I have personally visited, I have experienced their things which they offer to the public. So I thought of covering them. The first one is the National Museum. If you go through, there are administration levels, there are thematic museums, there are specialized museums. I have shown it like an administration setup. In the national level, you have National Museum, New Delhi, Indian Museum, Kolkata, Allahabad Museum at Prayagraj, Government Museum in Chennai, Salarjung Museum, Hyderabad, Telangana, and CSMVS, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya in Maharashtra. At state level, we have Chandigarh Government Museum and Art Gallery, Kutch Museum in Bhuj, Odisha State Museum in Bhubaneswar. Then at regional level, which I found, which was on a big scale, was Punjab State War Heroes Memorial in Amritsar, Indian Customs and Central Excise Museum, Panaji, Goa. It's a unique concept, so I tried to cover it. We have some site museums at Lothal and Dholavira as well. Then we have the first salvage archaeological museum in India, which is actually Nagarjuni Konda. It's an island museum. It's in Andhra Pradesh. And we have Amravati. Amravati was a very much close subject for all of us, as most of the remnants or the relics of Amravati, they submerged in the water when they were taken away from India. I have seen the Amravati gallery at the British Museum also. They have a very good collection and they have kept it well. I have seen the Amravati Museum in Andhra Pradesh also. They have also created an interpretation center just a few kilometers away from the Amravati Museum. Then at the university level, there I have visited few universities where they had museums, but they were not actually a museum. They were actually galleries, or you may say a display in some showcases. They were not a complete set of museum activity or something going on about them. So our Department of Archaeology Ancient History, has 2 galleries, and Deccan College Pune has some collection from Nevasa and other significant archaeological sites from the region. I just tried to give a glimpse. The main highlight of my lecture is, first I'll give you the glimpse of the important museums, what those museums have carried or are unique factors in them. Then I will say, because this phase where everybody is sitting at home, most of them are trying to gain knowledge through virtual means. So what is the essence which a museum should have or can give to the people during this virtual necessity? Because physically the museums are, most of the museums in India are closed, so people are taking more and more advantages of the virtual promotional ideas whichever they can get. So if you see, I have a very clear chart made up on this thing, that National Museum, it has Harappa Gallery, which I already told you. They have other pre-Columbian Central Asian collection and all. They have a very beautiful collection on textiles also, but the gallery was closed earlier. Now the museum is also closed, so it's we won't be able to see much. Indian Museum Kolkata, we have the Bharut Stup, we have the Gandhara sculptures. We also have prehistoric tools from the Shivaliks. They have showed them. They have stupa relics also and other things. Then we go to the Allahabad Museum. Allahabad Museum also has Indus Valley antiquities. They have more of them replicas also. Then they have good miniature painting collection. They have documents from the freedom movement, and they have local sculptures from Kaushambi, Bita, Jhusi. They are small sculptures. They actually connect to the Mother Goddess era, Mother Goddess sculptures from the Indus Valley. Then they go to the next, because there are small Mother Goddess like figurines in them. Then we have Government Museum Chennai, which is actually a multi-purpose museum. They have children's section also. They have very beautiful bronze gallery, and they have Bruce Foot collection, which is one of the earliest collection of stone tools in India. And then we have numismatics gallery also there. At Salajang, it is also a kind of a world collections displayed at one place, because it was created by the people, those who were in the royal family. And then we have the sculptures from Gandhara, we have Chola period. Then we also have, they have like the small picture I have shown it, it's a wheeled Rebecca. It's a very rare sculpture. It's a very beautiful made sculpture, just meeting the international standards. They have beautiful sculptures in their vicinity. Then we have Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, which is in Mumbai. It also has world collections. They also hold international exhibitions which are very significant. Like they held a very beautiful exhibition on mummy, the Egyptian mummies. They got the collection from British Museum and other places. We also had an exhibition on India and the world, which was showcasing so many images, so many things which a person should know, from the stone tool age to the contemporary sculpture age, how the journey of heritage has gone. Then we have Chandigarh Museum. Chandigarh Museum was refurbished recently, because there was some problem in their galleries because of some water and all. So some of their collection was suffering because of that. But because I stay in Chandigarh and I know the Chandigarh Museum, they have opened it for the public recently, and they have sculptures and they have paintings which are worth seeing. They also have regional sculptures from Punjab area, because if you go to the museum, site museum in Punjab, you won't be able to see that beautiful sculpture which you will be able to see in the Chandigarh Museum. They also have good fossil collection which they found from the Shivaliks, the earliest places from where the man making tools were found. Then we have the Kutch Museum in Bhuj. Kutch Museum is why important because Kutch Museum got destroyed due to the earthquake. As you know that there was major earthquake in Gujarat region. So they have remade the things, recreated the things, and they have kept the collection very nicely. They have displayed the Harappan collection or the fossils, the inscriptions and everything. So in Gujarat, if you visit the Kutch Museum, you will be able to see the historicity and the antiquity of Gujarat region, the Kutch region. Then they in the Odisha State Museum, they have sculptures from the regional side. They are very beautiful sculptures, and they have huge galleries on other ethnographic and other collections which are actually from the places, because Odisha is also a place where there are people who live in the villages. There are craftsmen, those who live still in the villages, and they are not the people, those who have left the folklore, or you may say they also do the dances, they wear those jewelry. Same kind of things are displayed on the it's a kind of a folk display of the objects which are there in Odisha. Then we have I have not personally visited these two museums, but I thought these are the significant ones which should be visited by a person who likes to see the museums in India. So Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Manav Sangrahalaya, because they held an exhibition at National Museum. I have gone through the collection when they came here. So they have very good collection which is displayed in the form of, you may say, dioramas, also open air theater, open air display also, like somewhat like if somebody has visited at New Delhi, there we have a craft museum. So we have some structures, we have some displays which are actually like that. Then in Patna Museum, it's a multi-purpose museum. We had a virtual workshop, so they were showing different sculptures, and they have also created, I think so, a new children's gallery which was also very beautiful. I didn't went in Patna, but I saw it through the virtual mode. Now Punjab State War Heroes Memorial is a very huge space which is near, you may say, the border area, Wagah border area. They have significant display on the wars of India in the Punjab or out of Punjab. The whole display is very interactive. They have life-size models, and they have very big galleries which are you may say a display of archival records. You can also see the archival records, you can see the blow-ups, you can see the table screens, which is actually a wholesome experience for the visitor. They will learn also, they will enjoy also. Then there was a very unique museum which I came through, which was Indian Custom and Central Excise Museum in Panaji, Goa. When I visited the museum, I asked people, what is this museum? I was not able to know. Like a custom department is also, like we have a rail museum in Delhi, which is very popular, but a custom museum, what they must have displayed. So I went there, I saw they have beautifully displayed the things which are actually confiscated, or the custom people they get when people try to take them out of the country, or how the people try to smuggle those things, like making replicas. I saw a sculpture which was actually a replica of a sculpture which is here in National Museum. So I was so much astonished to see all those things, how people, you may say, take away the heritage from the country and how they give it to the people, and then we try to repatriate them, or sometimes we are not able to repatriate them. So it's a very difficult thing to know and to stop these things. So they have put a whole nice museum. They have also shown the ancient trades, like they have shown a dockyard showing a Lothal port, which is actually the earliest trading port for us, the dockyard at Lothal. So they have also shown the taxation system. They have shown the Arthashastra, because when you go through the currency, the seal making and all, you are able to see those things only when they were existing in the ancient past. Although we had cowries and other things, but now they have shown the journey from the ancient to the modern. Then if you go to the earliest sites, where in Gujarat we have the Lothal and Dholavira. Lothal is very much famous. People visit the place if they go to Gujarat, because it's the earliest and the biggest dockyard which you can see of the Harappan collection. And then we have Dholavira. Dholavira is one of the 5 metropolitan cities. Like we have one in Rakhigadi, which is in Haryana. So it is very big site, which is actually, you can actually see the site. It's an open site, and you can see the structures, you can see the town planning, the storage management of water and all. So and plus you have got so many number of artifacts from there. Some of them are, very less of them are displayed at the museum, but yes, the Dholavira itself is a very rich site. Then we have the island museum, which I told you about, the Nagarjuni Konda. It's actually a salvage archaeology museum. We have also the site on the island. They have picked the brick by brick, they have documented, like it's called salvage archaeology. Why? Because of this salvage thing, when UNESCO created World Heritage Sites, so they wanted the sites to get protected. So the status of World Heritage and the concept of protecting heritage came from the salvage archaeology thing. So in India, this is the first. And then we have the Archaeological Museum at Amravati. They have reconstructed a stupa. If you can see the picture, small picture I have shown you. So they have the remnants of Buddhist stupa. They have railings which they have kept in the open air display. Then we have the Museum of Archaeology. We have remnants of Devni Mori Stupa. The Devni Mori Stupa presently is submerged, but we have the original casket in a safe custody, and we have a replica of the casket, which is shown. And then we have the, you may say, ethno-archaeological gallery. It's actually experimental archaeology, because how the archaeological must have created in past, we have shown that through the collection. Then we have Deccan College, in which they have regional exploration excavation collections. They have very beautiful pottery. Then they have shown the burials. They have a very beautiful whole wall diploma in Nevasa, which has shown the epigraphy, the stratigraphy of the site. There are some other museums also which I came in contact when I was doing different works in different museums. We have Supreme Court Museum, which is basically based on the judiciary. They have the earliest, you may say, the records, you may even say the virtual records, digital records of the judiciaries. Then we have the Rashtrapati Bhavan Museum. Rashtrapati Bhavan Museum have been half converted into a kind of a dioramatic display, and then they have the displays in the showcases. Then it's also an interactive museum. Then we have the Partition Museum, which came up at the town hall in 2017. They have the journals, the newspaper articles and all, and they are also making, recording the oral histories of the people, those who have survived the partition, what was their experiences and all. So it's a new concept. Like, I have not seen a partition museum earlier, and it was a kind of a new concept that people are thinking of showing that. Like, we have a Holocaust museum showing the suffering of people of the gas chambers and all, but partition museum is the suffering of another kind. It should also be told to people, so that they should know what happened and what was the pain which people went through. This decision was not good or like that. Then we have the Utensils Museum in Vishala. It's a very good museum. It has open air display also, in the gallery display also, and then they are living. It's like a living heritage. You can sit and you can have food in the same utensils which you are seeing. So it's a new concept. We have Calico Textile Museum. We have the Museum of Toilets, which is in Delhi. That also, when I visited, I was a bit shocked to see that there are so many things which are converted into toilets. And then we have the Gandhi Digital Museum. Why I wanted to cover this? Because in this, like, they don't have much collection of Gandhiji. It's a place where he stayed, but they have recreated so beautiful the harp, the train journey, the newspapers, his speeches, whatever the places he visited, they have recreated using the digital display. Now, in the previous sections, like I told you, the Chennai Museum, why it was important. Chennai Museum also has a museum bus. In India, we have very less museums. Like in Mumbai, we have a museum bus. So there are many places which don't have promotional strategies, but yes, some of them have good promotional strategies. Chennai was good because it had a bus. If people cannot come to the museum, it will take the mini museum to people. It was like a museum in a bus. Similarly, we have museum bus as National Science Center Delhi. We have a museum bus. Mumbai had a bus which they had a coin collection recently on that. So we have different promotional strategies in different museums. Some of them, like in Archaeological Survey of India museums, I have seen the site museums. They have, the museums are actually at the very remote locations. So sometimes if a disabled person or the person who is not able to walk the stairs, or he's a bit old, they have a very beautiful audio visual setup at the entry of the museum where a person can sit. They can see a visual on the museum. They can hear the audio. So they have a proper corner. It's an audio visual corner for the people. We have tactile labels also at places. We have a proper tactile gallery at National Museum. So there are different promotional strategies which different museums use when they try to sell their product, you may say. Because if you won't tell people what you have, or if you will not promote that, like if they would have not been interactive enough on the virtual media, people would have lost the connection with them. So the improved policies and aims is one part. Like somebody asked yesterday that why the policies are there, do code of ethics are followed and all. Yes, in most of the places they are followed. The big museums are able to follow them. Smaller museums sometimes, because of the crunch of funds or crunch of space or staff, sometimes they are not able to follow. But yes, it is there, and people are, you may say, like not touching the objects, keeping silence in the galleries, maintaining a kind of, you may say, limited number of people in the galleries, like that. So there are things which are followed on the daily basis, which people can actually digest, that yes, I have to do this. Otherwise, if you say something which they are not able to, that's why I'm not able to do this, so they won't, you cannot justify them on the daily basis. Then there are educational things. They provide off-site and on-site. Like on-site, they, if you'll go, they will provide you tours and all. They do workshops and all. And off-site, they will provide you worksheets which you can download, virtual tours, which is very popular in Google Art also, and ASI also. You can actually have a virtual tour of the museum. Then they have museums and media promotion. Like presently, you can see at bus stands, railway stations, metro stations, like National Museum created a corner. So there are places where there is lot of people coming. So they do the promotion there, so that people should know if they are visiting a city. Like some cities have a hop on hop off buses. I have seen them in Amritsar. I have seen them in Chandigarh. I have seen them in Delhi. So they have hop on hop off buses. You take one ticket, you go throughout the city. They will take you the heritage places of the city. It's like, and you will enjoy. You will enjoy the city also. You will see the places also. Then we have virtual exhibitions. We have digital promotions of other kinds. Then we have interactive displays in museums. When you are on site, you have information coded and it is kept in one TV screen, or somewhere you can touch it or you can explore more. Then we have some kind of heritage walks in the sites. Then we have some guided tours in the museums. Workshops can be taken on the site also, off the site also. These are some, like I didn't cover the National Science Center, but I was quite impressed with the collection of National Science Center. Why? Because they have recreated a heritage gallery in which they have all the heritage of India. They have shown the heritage from the medicine science, the architectural science, the metallurgy, even they have shown the Harappa. It's a huge diorama. So it's a very good display. If somebody is staying in Delhi or they get a chance, they should visit National Science Center Delhi. They have a very beautiful display, and you are able to make connections of the earliest technology and science from the time, from the, you may say, the how astronomy was happening. They also have a very good gallery on information technology, which is in the some, which is, if you go through the galleries, you will find it. Information technology gallery has so many beautiful things. They have made a replica of the Bhimbetka cave, or the sculptures, or the earliest manuscripts, something like that. They have created a replica. So if people are not able to see them, or even if children see them in the books, they are able to see them in the replica form, the original size. So it gives a different impression. Then we have also the picture which you see in the lower part of the screen. They are in the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, Mumbai. So they have most of recreated the display using the replicas, and they have described them very well. They also have a very beautiful kit, which is a take home kit, in which children or teachers who are interested, they can take them and they can use them as an educational material. This is a glimpse of the online exhibitions which I created when I was in National Museum. Presently they have added more, and they have collaboration with Google Art and all. These were kind of earliest exhibitions, because the concept of making exhibitions, showing the people what kind of collection is there, was started at that time when we were there at the museum. Then these are kind of brochures when you go to a site. Sometimes museum is a part of a heritage tour, it happens. Or sometimes if you are going through a site and you think कि हाँ, there must have been a museum, यहाँ एक museum होना चाहिए था, या इस चीज का museum क्यों नहीं बनाया, like that. So these kind of heritage gallery walks and all, like if you go Humayun tombs in Mehrauli Archaeological Park, there is Mehrauli Archaeological Park, we have a museum at there. Then we have, if you'll go to Humayun's tomb, at Humayun's tomb you will see there is urban renewal, which is Nizamuddin Urban Renewal Trust. They conduct walk around the Nizamuddin area, around the Humayun's tomb. And then we have a small display of the antiquities which was recovered from the site. It's at the entrance, you go, they have the bricks or the whatever were the remnants or the things which they got when they were rejuvenating the site, when they were digging the water channels and all, replanting the trees and all. So whatever things they got, they have displayed them in a sort of a museum. This picture, like on the top, if you'll see presently, like yesterday, one person was asking like education is very important in the museum. So this thing I used like recently when I joined Haryana State Archaeology. I use these kind of this collection when I was going around in India. I have collected the things, replicas. One is from Mumbai, these I got from Khambat, some National Museum. This I got from Nasik. Like that, I collected the things, whichever I found are relevant or which can be used as a, you may say, a teaching tool. So I collected them and created my own replica box. Presently at Haryana also, luckily we have created a heritage corner concept. So we have created a replica box at Haryana for schools now. And now this one which I saw at the Mumbai Museum. If you will go to a site, you will be, this picture is actually, our department holds exhibitions, temporary exhibitions at Kurukshetra also, Tehwa also, and other sites also. So these, we put on display the replicas and we also sell them. This year we also created souvenirs. These souvenirs were created the first time in our department since its inception. Then I also was very much interested to show you these books. Yes, we have research guides, we have tour guides, we have different archaeological level guides and books also. But what is there for children? We have very beautiful books by Terry. Terry has also created a book on civilization series, and it's on Indus, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and other places, which are the 7 civilizations. Then we have this, the picto guide of Delhi World Heritage Sites. Like that, we have information guides, we have souvenirs, we have replicas. This, a visitor, when they come to a place, like if you want the visitor to keep the memory safe, sometimes now we are clicking pictures, but sometimes if they go back with a souvenir, like yesterday Ambika ma'am was telling about that small, the phoenix thing, the small object which was there in her hand, showing why it is there. Because sometimes people are not able to make sense what the thing must have looked like. Picture doesn't show everything. So they try to show the replica. Oh, this is there. I have also a very beautiful replica of the, if people must be knowing, I have the Rosetta Stone replica with me. So the Rosetta Stone replica and the you may say the bag or whatever I got. So those things are actually a kind of a memory with me that, oh, this is the highlight of that museum. And this is the thing which I carried back. And I might be able to show it to people, those who are not able to visit that place. To conclude, I might like to say that there are almost, I have written 2 decades, but almost after more than 2 decades of the birth of the web, the museums have increasingly seen the virtual audiences increasing in number of uh, places. Like earlier, only the people, those who were in cities or they were well off, they were able to do. But now people in on their mobile phones also, on smaller screens also, they are able to see about the museum and the heritage, the monuments. They are sharing videos. They are doing virtual tours and all. So the computer-based interpretive media allows exhibitions to support experiences. We need that also, and to also tackle the emerging challenges like the present situation of the pandemic. It was like a challenge, but still we tried to create a very beautiful cultural digital society, and we it's a like a information age through digital source. They keep audience connected with the museums. This the result of operation, because the promotion is very important. It's very significant for the future generation, and it's also important to understand that the past plus present means the future. Because if you don't know what has happened in the past, or what were the mistakes of the past, or what the things which can we can gain from the past, you won't be able to make decisions of the future. And combining heritage with aspects of tourism, like I suggest you, yes, you should protect, like the things which yesterday was told. The museum has different functions, you have to conserve them, you have to protect the things, but you have to promote that also, so that we should, if we are proud of it, we should promote it also. So combining heritage with aspects of tourism, it also aids in promotion, plus a kind of, you may say, a sensitivity towards the culture also generates, and people are able to, you may say, feel that we are also the owner, we are also the caretakers of the future heritage. Thank you.
थैंक यू थैंक्स अ लॉट। आपने ये जिस तरह का सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड किए जा रहे हैं अलग अलग म्यूजियम्स में, और भारत भर के जो बेस्ट म्यूजियम्स है उसके बारे में आपने जानकारी दी। पर्टिकुलरली जो न्यू इरा है उसमें जिस तरह के म्यूजियम्स बन रहे हैं, तो उसके बारे में आपने बताया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। यहाँ पर चैट बॉक्स में कुछ सवाल पूछे गए थे, जिसमें विक्रम भारद्वाज जी ने पूछा था कि do universities have their own history museums in India? If yes, which universities? तो आपने जैसे आपके वक्तव्य में बताया कि कुछ गैलरीज वगैरह आपने देखे, पर्टिकुलरली हमारे यहाँ पर महाराष्ट्र में आपने डेक्कन कॉलेज का बताया। डेक्कन कॉलेज इज एज अ ड्रीम यूनिवर्सिटी, बट इन नागपुर यूनिवर्सिटी देयर इज अ म्यूजियम which was started from Shabadev or Sankliya ji. Then in our North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, there is an Khandesh Archives and Museum. In Mumbai University also there is an Modi Numismatic Museum. So such type of different museums are there. And recently one multi-technological best museum is there in Bharati University, Pune. It is we can call it as a memorial museum, because Dr. Patang Rao Kadam, it's museum related with the founder of that university. So like that, there are different museums. And another one question is there, Salarjung Museum is a private or a government museum? But as I know that though it is a national museum, its director board is jointly.
Yes, sir. Like the palaces and museums which are in Jaipur or which are in Udaipur, it's like that. Like the Mumbai Museum is also a trust museum. It's not a national level museum. It's a trust museum, and it's following many things which are actually on the lines of British Museum. They have promotional material and all. Like I said in the beginning, I cannot explain all the museums. The museums which I thought they are doing for promotion of their, or now the picture has changed much more. But the things which I saw from my eyes, that yes, they are doing these things. So I tried to cover them.
Yeah. Ankur Jain ji said here that numismatic museum in Mumbai in Kalina campus is closed. हाँ ऐसा होता है कई बार. Yes.
I have seen that the coins which I showed you, the replicas, they were from the Nashik.
Yeah, Trambakeshwar. It's a Nashik Trambakeshwar Road, Anjaneri Numismatic Museum. Yeah.
So I attended a workshop and I have stayed there and I have seen the museum. So I
Yeah.
haven't covered. I have visited lot of museums in my life.
Yeah.
Almost a 12-year journey.
Yes.
So I haven't covered everything.
Yeah. Till there. Here is an time. We have time. So if there are any questions, then please most welcome. एक हाथ ऊपर है उज्जवल मोहड़े जी. यस प्लीज आस्क. या हाँ विक्रम जी आप पूछिए. विक्रम जी पूछिए. यस.
नमस्कार नमस्कार मैम. मैं
नमस्ते
एक चीज जानना चाहता हूँ, जो हमारी डांसिंग गर्ल है ना मोहनजोदड़ो वाली, वो पड़ी कहाँ पे, किस पड़ी म्यूजियम में रखी हुई
सर,
है?
नेशनल म्यूजियम न्यू दिल्ली के पहले 3 शोकेसेस जो हैं उसमें
ओके.
है. मैंने आपको जो पिक्चर दिखाई थी वो डांसिंग गर्ल के साथ एक लेडी खड़ी है गुजरात की,
हाँ यस
वहीं पर ही है. वो ओरिजिनल है. वो हमारी वाली जो है वो सुंदर वाली जो है वो ओरिजिनल है. एक सेम मोहनजोदारो में पाकिस्तान में भी है, बट वो उतनी खूबसूरत नहीं है. हमने एक बच्चों की वर्कशॉप करी थी तो हमने उनको बताया था. आपको इसका रेप्लिका भी मिल जाएगा, क्राफ्ट म्यूजियम में भी मिलेगा. HHEC वाले इसका रेप्लिका बनाते हैं. क्राफ्ट म्यूजियम में भी मिल जाएगा एंड नेशनल म्यूजियम में भी मिल जाएगा. मैंने मेरे टीचर्स को गिफ्ट किया था वो.
थैंक्स लॉट. एक और मैं बात फाउंड करना चाहता हूँ यहाँ पे. समटाइम जो पॉलिटिक्स है ना वो हेरिटेज के ऊपर हावी हो जाती है. स्पेसिफिकली मैं शिमला की बात करूँ, शिमला में हमारे पास टाउन हॉल है, 1910 की बिल्डिंग है, जो फर्दर द सेम टाइम अर्ली इंस्टांस में ब्रिटिश आर्किटेक्चरल स्टाइल पे क्रिएट की गई है.
I visited Shimla before COVID, so I have seen those buildings.
तो वो पर्टिकुलर बिल्डिंग है नियर अबाउट फॉर द लास्ट गवर्नमेंट के समय में गवर्नमेंट ने ये डिसाइड किया कि इसे इस टाउन हॉल को म्यूजियम में कन्वर्ट कर दिया जाएगा, बिकॉज ब्रिटिश टाइम का बहुत कुछ यहाँ पे है और ताकि उसको सेव किया जा सके. बट पॉलिटिक्स इतनी ज्यादा हावी हो गई थी, म्यूनिसिपल बॉडी ने फॉर जितने भी एजुकेटेड आपका फॉर द लिटरेरी वर्क था, फॉर द यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर थे, जानकार थे, वो चाह रहे थे कि इसे म्यूजियम में कन्वर्ट किया जाए. लेकिन पॉलिटिक्स इतनी हावी हो चुकी थी, म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के जितने भी आपके काउंसलर्स थे, मेयर थे, उन्होंने गवर्नमेंट को प्रेशराइज करते हुए जो एक म्यूजियम में कन्वर्ट की जानी चाहिए थी चीज, उसे द्वारा से म्यूनिसिपल बॉडी में ले लिया और ये कहा कि म्यूनिसिपल बॉडी में मेयर और डिप्टी मेयर का ऑफिस यहाँ रहेगा, कुछ और ऑफिस रहेंगे, जो इन रियल सेंस डिस्ट्रक्शन है उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया की. ये सबसे बड़ी विडंबना हमारे पास इंडिया में देखने को.
सर एक विडंबना तो मैं आपको एक और बताती हूँ. ये बहुत सिंपल, इसका एक बहुत सिंपल आंसर है जो हमें आर्कियोलॉजी में बोलते हैं कि अगर तुम साइट को प्रोटेक्ट नहीं कर सकते तो उसे दबा दो. तो जिस चीज को केयर टेकिंग करने के लिए आपके पास स्टाफ नहीं है, लोगों में मोटिवेशन नहीं है, तो उसको क्रिएट ही मत कीजिए. ठीक है ना सर? तो आपको हर चीज का सोर्स, फंडिंग, स्टार्टिंग से लेके एंड तक 5-year प्लान, एवरीथिंग यू नीड. म्यूजियम क्रिएट करने के लिए ऐसा नहीं है हमारे पास सामान है तो ऐसे तो मैं अपना बुक्स का म्यूजियम क्रिएट कर सकती हूँ, ऐसा नहीं होता सर. अब ऑलरेडी देयर आर स्प्रैंगिंग सो मेनी म्यूजियम्स, सो मेनी मॉन्यूमेंट्स, साइट्स. इंडिया इज वेरी रिच, बट यू कैन नॉट क्रिएट अ म्यूजियम एवरीवेयर.
ओके, थैंक्स अ लॉट. थैंक यू.
हाँ जी सर. Anything else?
Here Neetu ji asked one question. What is about विरासत-ए खालसा के बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Yes sir, that also I visited before COVID. It's a very beautiful, very big museum. They have very big amphitheater also, and they have displayed all the things which are actually they are also, everything is very digital, light and sound. They have used the voice, the technology, art and craft, and people from Gujarat and various art organizations they have created. Virasat-e Khalsa is actually showing the you may say the proudness of you may say the Sikh religion. So they have those displays. It's a very big museum. Yes, I have visited that also. I told you I cannot cover all the 800 museums in 1 hour. So, Anji.
Yeah,
I have visited that.
Ankur ji asked here one question: is there a national level database of various museums?
Yes. Like when I was telling, there is Jatan, in which we have been introduced. The Jatan is doing, it's an online portal. You can go, you can check the website, and you can actually see. And we have other things also, like National Monument Authority. They also have digital database. So NMMA. So there is NMMA, there is Intact, there is, like you are saying, we have different repositories. We have Google Art also. Many museums have collaborated with them. So if you type a name or you put an object, we have digital archives. Many things we have in different setups.
बट फिर भी जतन जतन जैसा ये बनाने के बावजूद भी हमारा ये अनुभव रहा है कि इट्स नॉट अ कंप्लीट, अभी वो शुरुआत है ऐसा हम कह सकेंगे। क्योंकि अगर महाराष्ट्र की अगर बात की जाए तो नाउ डेज इन महाराष्ट्र वैसे गवर्नमेंट 13 म्यूजियम्स है, बट अदर म्यूजियम्स प्राइवेट म्यूजियम्स ऐसा पूरा ये किए तो इट्स अराउंड 271 म्यूजियम्स। मगर इसका पूरा लिस्ट जो है वो अभी तक किसी इसमें डाटाबेस में नहीं दिखाई देता है।
सर वो सर एक सिचुएशन ये भी है, जतन को एक पूरा एक सॉफ्टवेयर लेना पड़ता है, लोगों को ट्रेन करना पड़ता है, एक पूरा सेटअप चाहिए। सो हर म्यूजियम के पास उतना स्पेस नहीं होता है। नेशनल म्यूजियम के पास था, बड़े म्यूजियम्स में होता है, बैठने की जगह भी होती है। सो देयर आर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नॉट अप्लाइड।
या बट अगर जैसे इंदिरा गांधी कल्चरल सेंटर की तरफ से अभी कुछ दिन पहले एक लेटर सभी को आया जो हमारे पास भी अवेलेबल है, तो उन्होंने उसमें वो सभी डाटा मांगा था जो आईसीएम की गाइडलाइन के तहत बनाया गया था। बट फिर भी हमने देखा इसके पहले भी महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने भी सेक्रेटरी के लेवल पर डाटा मांगा गया था, बट कई सारे म्यूजियम्स वो फॉर्म फिलअप करके भेजते ही नहीं है, तो इस वजह से जो है वो डाटाबेस कभी कंप्लीट होता नहीं है।
यस सर।
इसके लिए एक कर सकते हैं कि अगर हम इस तरह का एक अपने लेवल पे यानी स्टेट लेवल पे या रीजनल लेवल पे व्हाटएवर भी पॉसिबल, अगर हम एक गूगल फॉर्म इस तरह क्रिएट करके अगर हम ही स्कॉलर्स को अगर प्रोवाइड करें और उनके द्वारा अगर जिनको मालूम है कि ये परफेक्ट, हाँ मेरे पास ये परफेक्ट एड्रेस है, उसका फोटोग्राफ है, तो व्हाटएवर पॉसिबल उस तरह से अगर करके अगर एक उतना जैसे हमने लास्ट टाइम एक म्यूजियम हेरिटेज के समय एक प्रयोग किया था, तो जितने हमारे पास पार्टिसिपेंट थे 22 स्टेट से, तो देखा था कि एक ही स्टेट से जैसे अगर 5 स्कॉलर है तो कलकत्ता से बेस तो सिर्फ कलकत्ता सिटी के 71 म्यूजियम्स का लिस्ट कुछ लोगों ने भेजा, कुछ लोगों ने वहीं से 5, 10, 15, 20 म्यूजियम्स का लिस्ट भेजा था। वैसे सेम बॉम्बे और पुणे में 32 म्यूजियम्स है, तो वहां से कुछ लोगों ने 10-15, बट सम स्कॉलर्स जिनका अच्छा नॉलेज वो किए।
मैं भुजंग सर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज बताना चाहती हूँ। एज ए रिसर्च स्कॉलर जो मेरी जर्नी रही है, आई ऑल्सो ट्राई टू सर्च दोज थिंग्स, बट इट इज ट्रू वी डोंट नीड देम समटाइम्स, क्योंकि कस्टम म्यूजियम इसीलिए बनाया गया है लोगों को अवेयर करने के लिए कि किस तरीके से चीज गायब भी हो सकती है। ज्यादा अवेयरनेस से कई बार वो चीज उस ऑब्जेक्ट को भी हार्म करता है। पहली चीज तो ये। दूसरी चीज जो आप डिजिटल रेपोजिटरी कह रहे हैं, मैं हरियाणा में आई हूँ, जैसे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन लेवल पे होता है, why they are not showing everything to everybody, because they are saying कि हम लोग अगर उसको प्रोटेक्ट ना कर पाए तो, मतलब हर एक के पास इतना अच्छा नेशनल म्यूजियम में 3 सिक्योरिटीज है सर, हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास इतनी सिक्योरिटीज नहीं होती। सो
it's not regarding the antiquities, it's regarding the museum's addresses and the database only। यानी हाँ यस, कम से कम हमारे पास एक अच्छा लिस्ट अवेलेबल रहे और उसके तहत अगर हम कहीं जाते हैं, विजिट करते हैं, तो वहां जाकर के उस म्यूजियम्स को विजिट कर सके।
यस सर, हाँ वो तो है।
कितना डिटेल लेवल में जानकारी लेना है नहीं लेना है, इट्स द पार्ट, ये तो अलग बात है।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, वो तो वीएस अग्रवाल और जैसे शोभिता पुंज जी जो हैं, उन लोगों ने काफी डिक्शनरीज बनाई हैं अपने टाइम में, काफी लोगों ने बनाई हैं जी। ये
शोभिता पुंज जी के जिस किताब के बारे में आपने बात की, ये archives.org साइट पर ये किताब फ्री अवेलेबल है, तो आप इसे ले सकते हैं। इलस्ट्रेटेड गाइड टू म्यूजियम्स ऑफ इंडिया नाम से अगर आप archives.org में सर्च करते हैं तो ये किताब आपको फ्री में मिल जाएगी, तो आप इसे देख सकते हैं।
गुड बुक्स सारी, उपिंदर सिंह भी और काफी गुड बुक्स ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है। हमारे रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट है। अर्लियर 2 साल पहले जो बुक्स मुझे अवेलेबल नहीं थी, जो मैं ढूंढती थी लाइब्रेरीज में जाके, मैंने बहुत लाइब्रेरीज भी विजिट करी हैं मेरे टाइम में, एंड आई हैव फाउंड दोस बुक्स व्हिच आर नॉट देयर। अभी भी काफी लोगों के पास वो बुक्स नहीं है। So now we have a very good thing that everything is now online. मतलब scholars have got this benefit. Abhi.
At that time when I was wrote this encyclopedia of museums, which is in 10 volumes, that time also I got many books in such websites, archives.org, Usmania University, Digital Library of India. So अभी ये मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी का सबसे बेस्ट यूज है कि आपको कई सारे रेफरेंसेस जो है इजीली अवेलेबल हो जाते हैं और आप स्टडी कर सकते हैं।
यस सर, यस सर।
दिल्ली का जो नेशनल म्यूजियम इंस्टीट्यूट है, इट्स रियली अ वंडरफुल कलेक्शन। वहां पर म्यूजियम्स टॉपिक से रिलेटेड बहुत ही अच्छी बुक्स है। एंड अनदर जो मैंने बहुत पर्सनली अच्छा मुझे ये लगा, वो डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजी एंड म्यूजियम्स भोपाल में जो है, जहाँ डॉक्टर संगीता दराड़ी जी पहले थी, तो वहां पर भी बहुत अच्छा म्यूजियम्स के बुक्स का कलेक्शन है। इफ यू वांट टू यूज देन मोस्ट वेलकम। तो
Sir, I have visited almost more than 50 to 60 libraries. So I have my own
yes,
three.
it's for all the scholars, not particularly for you.
हाँ 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 हाँ, that's okay. हाँ, मतलब I have been through those galleries and libraries also.
थोड़ा सा अल्ट्रा मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजीज का जिस म्यूजियम्स में यूज किया है उस पर अगर आप प्रकाश डालेंगे, भारत में जो ऐसे म्यूजियम्स है जहां पर ये मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजीज को अगर यूज किया है, थोड़ा अगर बताएंगे तो बहुत अच्छा होगा सभी के लिए।
सर मेन तो मैंने जैसे एक पंजाब का आपको बताया, जैसे आप विरासत खालसा देख रहे थे जो है, मैंने गांधी डिजिटल म्यूजियम के बारे में बताया, क्योंकि ये लोग उभर चुके हैं, डिजिटली दे आर साउंड अभी। और अगर आप और भी चीज देखें, इंटरैक्टिव स्क्रीन, नेशनल म्यूजियम में एक भी इंटरैक्टिव स्क्रीन नहीं थी, लेकिन जब वो लोग बनाते हैं या जब वो जैसे कहते हैं टेम्पररी एग्जीबिशंस लगाई उन्होंने, तब उन्होंने टैब्स इंट्रोड्यूस किए बीच में। सो देयर आर प्लेसेस वी डोंट हैव। नेशनल साइंस सेंटर मैंने इसलिए शो किया क्योंकि वो पूरा इंटरैक्टिव है, डिजिटल है। सेम मैं कोलकाता में बिरला इंस्टीट्यूट में वहां पे भी गई थी, वहां पे भी दे हैव वेरी ब्यूटीफुल टेक्नोलॉजिकल जो भी उन्होंने डिस्प्ले किया हुआ है। तो टेक्नोलॉजिकल डिस्प्ले है, कई लोगों का म्यूजियम बस डिस्प्ले है, देयर आर स्क्रीन्स, बट एक्सेस में नहीं है स्क्रीन्स कहीं पर भी। मतलब जैसे है ना टेबल डिस्प्ले, वो मैंने पंजाब में देखा, विरासत खालसा में देखा, बट वो टेबल डिस्प्ले एक्चुअली उसको मेंटेन करना काफी मुश्किल है, और इंडियन क्राउड को मेंटेन करना भी थोड़ा मुश्किल है।
अभी जो रिसेंट में जो पटना में जो म्यूजियम बना जिसके बारे में आपने बताया, उन्होंने भी मल्टी टेक्नोलॉजी का अच्छी तरह से यूज किया है वहां पर। और इसके साथ साथ यानी जो हम कियोस्क टेक्नोलॉजी वगैरह जो ये करते हैं, उसके साथ फिर ये एनिमेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करके फिर ये जो अभी जो दिल्ली में अक्षरधाम का जो टेम्पल बना, तो वहां का जो म्यूजियम बनाया, तो उन्होंने भी इस तरह से कुछ अलग टेक्निक्स को यूज किया। पूना में साधु वासवानी जी का दर्शन म्यूजियम जो है, वहां पर भी ये अलग अलग टेक्नोलॉजीज यूज की गई है। सो सच ए वंडरफुल जर्नी इन ऑल ओवर द इंडिया। ट्रेडिशनल में जो बेस्ट है उसको यूज करते हुए जो अल्ट्रा मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी में बेस्ट है, वो कॉम्बिनेशन हमें करना चाहिए। ना कि क्योंकि ये बड़ी एक रिवॉल्यूशन जब बनता है तो कई बार ऐसा हो सकता है कि हमारी जो कनेक्शन है उसके साथ टूट सकती है, क्योंकि जिन लोगों को हाथ में किताब लेके पढ़ने की आदत है या न्यूज़पेपर लेकर पढ़ने की आदत है, उन लोगों का मेंटालिटी ये हम स्क्रीन पे नहीं पढ़ने का अच्छा नहीं लगता है, वो टच नहीं होता है। तो हमको दोनों का एक बेस्ट कुछ कॉम्बिनेशन इस तरह से करना होगा। तो जैसे किताबों के पन्ने हाथ से पलटते हैं, उसके बजाय जब हम ऐसे हाथ घुमाते हैं तो किताब जो है वो पेजेस पलटते हैं। तो ये डिजिटल बुक्स में भी इस तरह का सेंसर पर आधारित जो किया जाता है, तो सच टाइप ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी यूज्ड। तो इस तरह से
राष्ट्रपति भवन म्यूजियम में उसकी इमेजेस मैंने नहीं दिखाई, उसमें ऐसे है जो आप चाह रहे हैं, तो वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वगैरह के आप पन्ने पलट सकते हैं, वो अच्छा है।
इन आवर म्यूजियम आल्सो वी यूज्ड दिस टेक्नोलॉजी हियर इन जलगांव, आल्सो इन गांधी रिसर्च फाउंडेशन म्यूजियम, यहाँ पर भी हमने इस तरह का टेक्नोलॉजी यूज किया है। तो इसके साथ हमने फिर दूसरा एक है कि हमारे यहाँ पे एक सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात सभी म्यूजियम मूवमेंट केस में सब लोगों को याद रखना है, हमारी सारी म्यूजियम्स को एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स के साथ जोड़िए, जब भी जाकर के इसका सही मायने में एजुकेशनल यूज होगा। अदरवाइज इट बिकम्स ओनली शो, सिर्फ शो रह जाएंगे, नॉट नो एनी यूज इन आवर दिस रियल लाइफ, तो कुछ उसका फायदा नहीं होगा। तो हमारे जो अभी जैसे विक्रम भारद्वाज जी ने पूछा था यूनिवर्सिटीज में म्यूजियम्स है क्या, इफ नॉट नो प्रॉब्लम, यूनिवर्सिटीज कैन यूज द म्यूजियम्स व्हिच आर इन द सिटीज। तो ये इस तरह से अगर हम जोड़ के काम करेंगे तो मुझे लगता है एक बेस्ट यूज हो सकेगा न्यू जनरेशंस के लिए, और नई जनरेशन के दिलों में एक आस्था बन सकेगी हमारे संग्रहालयों के लिए। सो थैंक यू, इट्स रियली वंडरफुल सेशन। यहाँ पर हाँ किसी के अगर कुछ सवाल नहीं है तो फिर विद द काइंड परमिशन ऑफ ऑल ऑफ यू वी विल स्टॉप हियर।
मैं सर अपने हरियाणा के लेक्चर में आपको आगे का बताऊंगी, जो आप मेरे को कनेक्शन ऑफ वो, क्योंकि मैंने स्कूल्स के साथ कनेक्ट करने की कोशिश करी है यहाँ पे।
बहुत बढ़िया। मैडम का और एक सेशन होगा म्यूजियम्स इन हरियाणा के बारे में पर्टिकुलरली, उस समय हम और ज्यादा जानकारी उनसे लेंगे। सो आई एम रियली थैंकफुल टू यू,
Thank
क्योंकि
you, sir.
आपने खुद का जो क्योंकि हमेशा किताबों से थेरोटिकल इसमें से क्या आया है उससे ज्यादा हम प्रैक्टिकली जो कर रहे हैं
Yes.
वो जब शेयर करते हैं दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट।
Yes,
तो
sir.
वही आपने हमारे साथ एक्सपीरियंस और ये सभी शेयर किया। सो थैंक यू, थैंक्स अ लॉट टू
Thank you, sir.
सुरुचिका जी। यस, और आप
Thank
सभी का शुक्रिया, और इसी के साथ हम आज का सेशन जो है यहाँ पर रखते हैं। थैंक यू, थैंक यू,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
Thank you.
हाँ मैम, आपका नंबर दे दीजिए प्लीज।
सर आपको शेयर कर देंगे मेरा डिटेल, ईमेल आईडी
Okay.
वगैरह भी। आप कभी भी मुझे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, थैंक यू। भुजन सर, आप प्लीज कर दीजिए इनका नंबर से।
हाँ जी,
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
डाल के जोड़ के इस टाइप का बना